been a long 25 years since we started dating. My wife and I have experienced ups and downs together, just like any other marriage, but our relationship has always seemed unique to me. That is until I learned about her boyfriend. A colleague and I got back at her by revealing the terrible truth. Truth that her lover was just using her for his own purposes. But let's take it one step at a time. My name is Ron, and my wife's name is Donna. We were both 45 years old when the whole truth came out, a few days before our 25th wedding anniversary. Since the beginning of our relationship, Donna has had a dream. When we leafed through glossy travel guides together in our tiny first apartment, she would always linger on the photos. White sandy beaches, clear azure waters, those tiny houses above the ocean. She would get this dreamy look in her eyes, and I understood that for her, this was not just a vacation spot. So when our 25th anniversary was approaching, I thought it would be the perfect place to celebrate such an occasion. I wanted to see that dreamy sparkle in her eyes again and genuine admiration. So I secretly started planning the trip. It took me months to save up the money I needed, research the best resorts, and rent a beautiful beach house. Everything had to be perfect. My heart raced every time I imagined the moment, and I would reveal the surprise. Just picturing her face lighting up, made all the hassle fade into the background. Preparing in secret and working late into the night was my way of telling her, we've been together for 25 years, and I'm still willing to turn the world upside down for you. When everything was ready, I hid the tickets inside a photo album of our life story that I had made, from our awkward first date to the present day. The last page was meant to be a postcard from Hawaii that said, "New chapter." As the big day approached, I was bursting with excitement. But as you've probably guessed, things didn't go as smoothly as I had hoped. My wife and I worked as programmers at the same company, but in different departments. Every Thursday, I would meet up with my team at the same cafe to maintain a friendly atmosphere within our small group. Me, my colleague Brian, and a few other guys. I mentioned that Donna had been working late a lot lately and how much I missed our evening walks. Brian sipped his coffee and casually remarked, "Speaking of working late, it's weird, isn't it?" I looked up, slightly confused. "What do you mean?" Brian shrugged. "Well, Donna and Jacob spend a lot of time together. More than just colleagues, if you know what I mean." He had this smirk like he knew more than he was letting on. I knew Jacob. He worked in Donna's department. We had met a few times at company parties, and he had seemed like a decent guy to me. As far as I knew, they were collaborating on projects. Brian's comment stuck in my head, but I tried to brush it off. They're probably just friends working on some big project or something. Brian just casually shrugged again in response. I wished then that he was just being his usual self, trying to rib people like he always did. But over the next few days, I started noticing things. Whispers around the office, exchanged glances. My wife acting more distant when she saw me in the hallway, her working late, her phone always face down, middle of the night messages, early morning alerts, far more than before. And every time, she would subtly angle the screen away from me or leave the room for calls. Had I been so absorbed in my own affairs that I failed to notice the warning signs right under my nose? Was I ready for the answers? The truth ended up finding me anyway. It was a Saturday. Donna was in the shower when I sprawled out on the couch playing video games. Her purse happened to fall off the chair next to me. Out spilled the content. Her wallet, some cosmetics, and a sheet of paper. I never usually invaded her privacy, but something about that paper caught my attention. The handwriting wasn't hers. I picked it up and noticed it was addressed to her from Jacob. "Donna, you're the only one who makes me feel alive. Our secret meetings in the park, the thrill of hiding from the world, it's intoxicating. When I'm with you, everything else ceases to exist." Felt like the air had been punched out of my lungs. Every word stabbed my heart. I read and reread the letter, hoping I had misunderstood, but no. The undeniable truth was there in black and white. A swirl of emotions came crashing over me. Anger, sadness, disbelief. I didn't want to believe my own eyes. One question kept ringing through my mind. Were the last 25 years meaningless? That's when I heard the shower turn off. When my wife entered the room, I looked at Donna, clutching the letter, and asked point blank, "What's going on between you and Jacob?" Her eyes flew open wide in shock. For a split second, I thought I saw a flash of guilt cross her face. But she quickly masked it. "What do you mean?" she replied, feigning innocence. I put the letter down on the table. "This, Donna, what is this?" She stared at the letter, her face draining of color. "Ron, it's not what you think," she whispered. "How cliché. Then explain it to me." She paused for a moment, gathering her thoughts. "We're just very close friends, Ron. You're blowing this out of proportion. You always get so jealous." "Close friends? Don't take me for a fool. Close friends don't write letters like this." It turned into one of our loudest arguments ever. I couldn't make sense of what was truth and what were lies. Donna denied everything through her tears and gave no explanations. I felt exhausted. Part of me desperately wanted to get to the bottom of this, so I decided to play it smarter. I enlisted the help of my colleague Brian and asked him to arrange a meeting with my wife's lover at a downtown bar. Away from prying eyes, it would be a regular get-together between two coworkers looking to unwind after work. Brian would get him talking over drinks and pry out the information I needed. But what I heard shocked me even more than the affair itself. After several glasses of whiskey, when Brian asked Jacob what was going on between him and Donna, he unexpectedly declared, "It started as a stupid game. Me and some buddies, we had a bet going." He stammered, the alcohol making his speech slightly slurred. "We wagered money on who could get close with someone's wife. Wanted to see if we could seduce her away." Hearing this, my mouth fell open in surprise. Donna is the hottest woman in our department, married or not. Believe me, she drove all the guys crazy there. Everyone dreamed of spending a night with that untouchable beauty. You have no idea the effort it took for me to get her attention. "So you became her lover because of some competition?" Brian clarified. "Turns out, yeah, but it spiraled out of control. It became more than just a game. Emotions got involved. Things got messy. I never meant to take it that far. I should have stopped, but my feelings overpowered me. Thus, not only was my spouse unfaithful to me, but it had begun as a dare with her partner. That friendship started off as a perverse rivalry. Part of me wanted to let everything out, to scream and spit out all the agony, but the enormity of it all just made me numb. The days that followed the bar's discoveries turned into the worst I've ever had to go through. Regardless of my movements or actions, the betrayal continued to weigh heavily on me. But that suffering was accompanied by a fierce resolve. I wanted to turn the tables and exact revenge on each of them. My revenge plan came together quickly. About 2 weeks after that conversation, our company was having a big corporate event for all employees. My colleagues had booked a private hall at the most prestigious restaurant in town. As the corporate party drew closer, my stomach twisted into nervous knots. But I knew the wait would be worth it. When all the guests were relaxed, sipping champagne and milling around the hall, I took the stage and asked for the microphone from our MC. The moment I greeted my colleagues, dozens of eyes turned my way. I noticed my wife in the crowd, shooting me a puzzled glance. I started my speech by mentioning our upcoming wedding anniversary. The room erupted into applause, congratulating us. Donna gave me a sweet smile, probably thinking I was about to say some heartfelt words for her. But while close to the truth, the purpose of my speech was far from it. I just needed to stoke the audience's interest for the climax. I began by recounting our past and showing a video montage of our cutest, most vivid moments. Wedding, holidays, our kids being born. With each scene, their faces grew paler. The video ended with text reading, 25 years. Was it all just a game? Silence fell over the hall. My colleagues' faces showed shock and confusion. Tears welled up in my wife's eyes. "Dear colleagues," I told them, "I shared this not to congratulate us on our milestone. I only wanted the truth to come out." Jacob didn't know his conversation at the bar with Brian had been recorded. Right after the video ended, his voice filled the room, explicitly detailing their twisted competition. His bet with friends. Of course, I had edited out the part where he talked about his feelings, leaving only the story of the dare.